like sleeping with a hand grenade. Whoa, like sleeping with a hand grenade. Whoa, anxiety is on parade, can't escape it. Whoa, anxiety is on parade, can't escape, will never wake. This barbed wire charade, can't escape. Whoa, like sleeping through a hurricane. Whoa, like sleeping through a hurricane. Whoa, anxiety is on parade, can't escape it. Whoa, anxiety is on parade, can't escape, will never wake. From this barbed wire charade, I can't escape, and I never wake from. How's it going out there? Side down, right below, above. Side down, right below, above. Side down, right below, above. Side down, right below. There's no use swimming against a tidal wave. No use swimming against the tidal wave. Oh, anxiety is on parade, can't escape it. Whoa, anxiety is on parade, can't escape, will never wake. This barbed wire charade, I can't escape, and I never wake from. Side down, right below, above. 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 Yo-da-da-da-da-ba-da-da. Yo-da-da-da-da-ba-da. Yo-da-da-da-da-ba-da-da. Do-da-da-da-da. Side down, right below, above. Upside down, right below, above. Upside down, right below, above. Side down, right below. What's going on, Mick O'Farrell? How are you doing? I'm live streaming. Oh, you're staring at my torso right now. Hold on. Give me a moment. How's that? A little better? Yeah, so I signed myself up to do this 8-hour live stream next week. And I realized a few things. It's been a really long time since I've actually sang, which is probably not the best place to begin preparing for an 8-hour live stream. So I'm doing this to shake some stuff off. And, oh, hold on. Damn it, automator, turn off. There we go. Okay, so that's the first reason to do this, is to shake some stuff out and get back into the swing of this. But the other reason, Morton, how's it going, Morton? Hope you're doing good. If you're watching, let me know you're watching and where from and all that stuff. So, shaking the rust out. The other reason, more importantly, is that since the COVID-19 pandemic has hit, I've been getting a ton of questions on like Messenger and Instagram and all over about how, like, what my live stream rig is, like my setup. And rather than me having to write like 40 people back and cut and paste, oh, you're watching in Norway. Okay. Hello, Morton in Norway. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your first name too, or I'm not giving it all the oomph it requires. So my apologies. But yeah, so rather than having to cut and paste the same explanation over and over, I thought I'd just do a video and send people a link and they can kind of watch and see. Marty in Berlin, how's it going? Yeah, so let's see, I'm trying to think what camera I should use. I probably will use, let me see, I'm going to use my iPhone, I think, because I can move it around a little bit better. So let me put my guitar down, and I'll be right back and show you the different gear and how it flows. And there'll be a lot of cautionary tales in this broadcast as well, because, like, don't have your mic so that anytime you hit it, it turns away from you. Start there. If you can remember that, you're better off than I am at this live streaming thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me grab my iPhone here and switch the camera angle, which I think is this one. Nope, wrong one. There it is. Here I am. Okay, so the first thing I've got is a room. Hello camera. Okay, so there's a room. The first thing I have in the room that's important is the guitar, which plugs into, this is a lot harder than I thought, which plugs first into that guy. It's an LR Baggs direct box and tuner. And when I click this on and off, it's a mute button. So assuming it's not on mute, it goes over to this guy, which is TC Helicon's Voice Live 3 Extreme. And just a little bit about that pedal real quick. It does probably a billion things, and so many things that I don't really have a need for, or I'm really bad about getting into a machine and, like, you know, playing with all the parameters and stuff. I'd rather just have some buttons that I can press easily and rely on. So what I did when I first bought the pedal, it has, 700 presets, and I went through them all, and they're actually really conveniently named. Like, they're very loosely stolen song titles from artists. So, like, there might be one called like Moon Age Daydream, and you're like, oh, okay, that's like a 70s glam rock David Bowie setting of effects. So it's a bunch of effects. You got guitar effects, vocal effects. So I went through that, and there was a Death Cab for Cutie one that was pretty good. But the one I settled on was called Sound of Silence, and it was just kind of a basic folk Simon and Garfunkel sort of sound, which has a really good acoustic guitar so what it basically does is take the signal of my acoustic guitar, which, if anyone hasn't heard me say it, the guitar I usually play is a very, very cheap Alvarez. I think I spent $175 on it and got it brand new from Guitar Center. It's a very cheap parlor guitar, but I love how it plays. It doesn't sound that great. But so that's the first step. The guitar goes into the LR bags, then into the Voice Live 3 Extreme, and it has some resonance, body resonance, default settings within that Sound of Silence parameter, whatever you call it. Okay, so then that pedal also takes my vocal signal, this is just a Shure SM7, and I've done this with a Shure 58. I've also done it with a AKG 414. So it can do, the TC Helicon pedal can do phantom power. I'm gonna see if anyone's asking questions. Oh, okay. Morton's just saying I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Great. Okay. So where was I? With the TC Helicon pedal, takes the vocal signal. It can provide phantom power if you have a mic that needs it. And then it does these things. I can add reverb with just the click of a button. Let's see. So you can see that the pedals are named what they are most often within the settings that you choose. So yeah, we've got reverb. There I am. Reverb. We've got delay. A doubling effect. And then lastly is a harmonizer pedal, which I should demonstrate real quick. If I just press the harmonizer on its own, it'll sound really weird and won't be in association to anything because it's just pulling weird noise. But if I also plug my guitar into it and send it a guitar signal, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. So yeah, it detects the chord I'm playing on the guitar pretty much instantaneously, tracks that chord, and then tells the vocal processing what to do with the harmonies. You can customize. Kyle Reslow, you're saying weird noise is good noise. Yeah, that's true for one of these ambient experimental records we're going to make one day. But not so much when you're just an acoustic folk singer. So let's see, where was I? So processing the vocal harmonies. Okay, so that's something I try to use kind of sparingly because it could get pretty old. This thing also has a looper for both the guitar and the vocals, and I'm talking about the Voice Live 3 Extreme from TC Helicon. Okay, now let me put this down again and figure out where it goes next. Okay, so let me see. Marty, you have a question. Does it generate less latency than going through your DAW? And you obviously get plenty of preamp power for the SM7, which can be a problem with average interfaces. Really fantastic sound. First of all, thank you. I'm glad it sounds good. I can't really take much credit for if it sounds good because I'm not a super technically minded person. So really what I did is I tried to get gear that I thought would be as simple as possible. Like I had heard that the Voice Live 3 settings were pretty much plug and play or whatever the term is, like just ready to go. And again, I found the one of 700 presets that I liked, and I have never veered from it for a year or however long I've been using this. I've not explored any other settings because that's sort of just how I am. I'd rather add some interest to a song by whistling or using the harmonica or something else besides having to play with a bunch of technology. Let's see. And yeah, so I've got this thing, Dynamite, which I actually don't quite understand. Apparently, it adds a little bit of extra signal to a microphone like this. The other thing that I do have to do, well, I'll get to that. So the signal is a little bit quiet, and I'll show you how I compensate for that in the software I'm using. So, hey Mick, thanks for thinking that was cool. Dust Rhinos, how are you? Hello, Dust Rhinos. Okay, so now we are basically, again, that's the pedal. It's making all the effects for both the guitar and the vocals. And thankfully, this all works because there is a little. Let me see if I can show you. A little cable that comes out of that pedal and goes right into my computer. It's a USB out, or I technically don't know what they call it. So it's just one of those really small little outs, but the cable converts to a USB. Let's see. Marty's saying that's brilliant. I think the producer in me gets in the way of simpler setups for this sort of gig. Yeah, even this is probably too complicated for me sometimes, but I knew if it was too complicated to set up, I would not make a habit of going live. So yeah, I wanted as simple a setup as it could be, and that relates to what I was talking about. That simple cable coming right out of that pedal and right into my computer eliminates the need for me to have any kind of other mixer. So the signal that goes out is basically, I guess I am technically mixing it within that pedal, but it's just a few, a knob to make sure that the guitar and the vocals are fairly balanced. I also come out of that pedal with a couple cables. So there's the vocal in and the guitar in over there. And then over here are the outs, which go through that snake's nest of messy awfulness over to that tower JBL Eon, I think they call it, Eon 1, something like that. It's, your typical singer-songwriter small PA, portable PA. And so I have the outs both separate, vocal and guitar out, going to that thing so I can mix them separately in the room. Now that has nothing to do with what you're hearing. That's simply so that I don't have to wear headphones, because otherwise the sound's just going into the computer. So that allows me to monitor in the room and hear what I'm doing and hear the harmonizing and the reverb and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so digital signal goes from there to my computer. Oh, look, it's like one of those crazy Twilight Zone things. How far in can we go? Okay, so digital signal from there to the computer, and analog audio signal goes to that, so I can hear it in the room. Okay, now this might get sort of strange. Let me see if I can hold the camera and make any sense of this. But also, let me see if there's any more questions. Kyle Reslow saying probably mini USB. Yeah, it probably is. It's like the super little tiny one, and then the other end of the cable goes to a sort of standard square USB. Okay, Ron is saying my voice live play uses a micro USB to USB. That sounds exactly like what it probably is. Okay, so now I'm gonna move my mic over here. I have got this little adapter to take the USB from the Voice Live, converts it to the USB-C, or what is that called? Thunderbolt or something like that for these new Macs. And let me move this. I have a program called, there we go. So I have a program called OBS Studio. It's a free program. And it basically lets you take multiple cameras, multiple audio signals if you want, and stage them in here. And I don't know how much I'll be able to really show you and have it make any sense, but you can set up different scenes. Like, let me show you if I click that. Oh, let me see. There we go. So if I click different settings, I can switch the camera angles. There's back to that one, which is my iPhone. Got another one set up called Brio, which is the camera over here. And if I go back to the iPhone, I can show you. So that's one Logitech. It's an older Logitech webcam, which can do HD. Then this is a monitor that I, for some reason, can't run. I can't have my monitor on at the same time as I'm doing audio that goes to my PA because it creates this awful buzzing sound. And I got a brand new monitor because I thought that would solve the problem, and it doesn't. Same buzzing noise happens. So if anyone has, if you're an electrical genius and you can tell me why that's happening, that'd be helpful. But anyway, so here's my monitor that I cannot use during live streaming. And this is a Logitech Brio, which is a really pretty inexpensive webcam, and I've found it's really good. It can do 4K, and if you have a broadcast that would take such a crisp signal. But anyways, I use that for work and Zoom calls and all that as well. So camera 1 is that, and that's giving you that view. Camera 2 is my iPhone. Camera 3 is that guy, which, okay. So anyways, we go back to OBS Studio. And if I wanted to, I could add little text things. Let's see. What else do I have here? Well, I used to have a whole lot more, but basically you can fly in text. If you have a transparent PNG, you can arrange it within the screen. You can have graphics, like slideshows, a whole bunch of stuff like that. So let's see. What else can I show you? Okay, so OBS Studio is sort of staging the broadcast. Now, here's the tricky thing. I am just one person in my room, and I don't want to be, having to press keys every time it's time to switch a camera angle. So I programmed something within the Automator, which is a Mac, would you say, sort of an intermediary translator for, I don't know programming language, so it can kind of take my dumb programming ideas and translate them to something that can make the Mac do an automated task. So let me show you that real quick. So within the Mac Automator, I've done this little Apple script, and it's probably very blurry for you to see, but anyways, it's a way to sort of just say, hey, OBS Studio, use the hotkeys or keystrokes or whatever they're called to just automatically change from scene to scene within OBS. So within OBS, there's in the preferences you can do. Let me figure out what those things are called real quick. Hotkeys. Okay, so I've assigned a letter to the different scenes, which in each different scene has a different camera associated with it. And then the Automator Apple script thing that I wrote up. When I say I wrote, I think I actually found it online and then customized it to what I needed. But basically, you press play on that Apple script. Let me see if I bring up this guy again, and you can see it's got a little play button there. And if I just click play, it starts switching between the cameras automatically. Let me press stop because I'm not going to put you through that again. Then the next thing is that there's a stream key, which is basically like a sort of a secret identifier, secret code to tell OBS where the signal that it's creating, this broadcast that you're staging, where it needs to go to. And so in my case, it goes to something called Restream. You could, if you just, let's say you just live streamed on Facebook, your Facebook page will have its stream key, and you can just put in that one stream key, and then whenever you go live from OBS, it's going to go straight to Facebook. Same thing with YouTube or wherever, Twitch, any of those things. But I'd use something called Restream, so that I can broadcast to multiple platforms at once. So instead of going directly to a platform, the signal from OBS goes to Restream, and then from Restream to YouTube, Periscope / Twitter, and Facebook, my Facebook page, all at the same time. So let me show you Restream real quick. Okay, here we go. So let me see. I don't know if this is still going out there. I think my signal might be bad. But you can see the different platforms here. You can click titles and give each of your broadcasts a different name. I have a feeling my Wi-Fi is going out right now. Maybe not. So now that leaves me with one other problem, which is if I'm broadcasting to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter or Periscope all at once, I don't want to have a bunch of other windows open in order to... I don't want to have a bunch of windows open in order to monitor the comments. So Restream has solved that. They have an app called, what is it called? The Restream app, or Restream Chat is what it's called. And that looks like this. Let me see. Oh, new messages. I got to scroll down. And it looks like today almost everyone is... looks like all these comments are coming from Facebook, but on a day where there's actually folks watching on or not just watching, but commenting on YouTube and Twitter as well, it aggregates all the comments into this one app on my desktop. So that's really the only thing I need to have open besides Chrome, which is running Restream, and OBS, the software on my computer. So I can see all the comments through that app, which is cool. And then let me see. Marty's asking, can you boost a live stream through Ads Manager? Would be happy to chip in to help boost the marathon stream. Oh, that's super kind of you. I actually don't know. I mean, I know for certain you can boost or use a live video that's now like archived once it's over. I know for sure you can use that as video ad content on Ads Manager. I'm not sure about while it's still going on. If so, I'll look into that. And if you wanted to do that, that would be so amazing of you. So thanks for the offer. Okay, I'm trying to think what else I might... Does anyone have any questions about any of that? It's basically the guitar to my LR Bags DI tuner, which then goes into the Voice Live 3, which does most of the heavy lifting. That goes both to my PA over there and then straight into the computer. Then the computer is running OBS Studio, a program that combines multiple cameras and the audio and whatever other graphics I want to add, and then pushes that to Restream. Restream then is the place where I can title the stream and push it out to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And then any comments that are happening on those platforms comes back to Restream, and I view those through the Restream Chat app. Dan Wickland, hello from Alberta, Canada. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. Thanks for watching, and hello to Alberta. We just had, in Maine, we had, 6 to 8 inches of snow last night. Is it still snowing in Alberta? Or are you getting actual proper... actually proper spring? Mick is making me laugh. You lost me after Alvarez. Ooh. Do tell. Do you hate Alvarez? Oh, and then, okay, one other thing I'll tell you about my live stream. I have this ring light going. I also have that softbox light, and I've got another one over here that's actually not lit right now. And I mean, the ring light is cool. I'm glad to have that. The softboxes for this purpose aren't all that helpful. I've actually found that the best thing you can do, I used to be set up right by a window, and I mean, part of my reason for going live during the day is that it was the only time I could reliably do it. But the other reason is, I can make noise during the day because usually people are out of the house. Not so during a pandemic. But also, sunlight through the window is super helpful because I didn't have any of these fancy lights at the time, and sunlight's actually kind of the best light source anyways. So I recommend you position yourself in such a way so that sunlight hits your face and that you don't have bright lights behind you, because that makes it all look blurry and blown out and pixelated and whatever else. All right. With that little rig rundown out of the way, I'm going to switch back to this camera I'll do one more song for you. I've actually never sung this song live. I just learned it last week after a church that I go to and take my daughter to. It's a Universalist Unitarian church in Maine here. We had a Zoom congregational gathering a couple Sundays ago, and the piano player, organist for the church, he went to the church for this and played the piano. It was super moving. He did this song, and something about it was very appropriate. So I learned it. I'll see if I can sing it, and then I'm going to get off because it's 5 o'clock and I got to go hang out with my family. So one sec.
Sunny day, keep smiling through, just like you'll always do, till those blue skies chase the clouds away. But if you please say hello to folks that I know, tell them it won't be long. They'll be happy to know when you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
When I played jazz guitar in high school, my music teacher, he used to say that I was the best jazz, I'm in high school, so how good could I be? But for a high school guitarist, he said I was the best comper he'd ever had in all of his years of teaching. And a comper is someone who knows, fancy chords and can kind of tastefully play the rhythm guitar behind someone who's soloing. But that I was the best comper he'd ever had, but that I had no idea how to what is called play over changes, which is totally true. Like, I'm not a good enough guitar player to switch modes and scales and stuff. I'm I'm a dumb rock guitarist, really. So I'm laughing because I can't solo over changes, and clearly I can't even scat over changes. So let me try it again, and no promises that it will be an improvement, but it'll at least be practice.
they'll be happy to know when you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
We'll meet again. And hopefully we'll meet on Thursday for my 8-hour live stream. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. See you next week.